Let's kick things off with the big vice presidential debate, the only time these candidates will face off. Well, in the United States. The European tour is kicking off next week. But for those of us who found it very exciting, there actually was one particular moment that everyone is talking about today.
In what was the night's most contentious exchange, Vance refused to acknowledge that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election.
I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future.
I'm focused on the future? I didn't know you could answer questions with that. You know, next time my wife asks me why I forgot to pick up the kids, I'll say, hey. I'm focused on the future. Where are the kids now? Or how about the next time I get pulled over? Do you know how fast you're going? I know how fast I am going. 0 miles per hour. That's got to count for something, officer. But I appreciate J.D. Vance. He's not focused on Trump trying to steal the last election. He's focused on Trump trying to steal the next election. And honestly, that is progress. But of course, it's not just the debate that matters. Because, yeah, some people form their opinion by watching it as it happens, but a lot more people form their opinion by watching other people's opinions. You know how you go to a fancy restaurant that took months to get reservations, it's so expensive, and at the end you're thinking, that wasn't very good. But then the people at your table are like, that was the best meal I ever had. And then you're like, you know, it was pretty good. You know, maybe putting cannellini beans in ice cream wasn't disgusting. And that's why both parties put so much effort into spinning the debate result, because it's effective. So let's get to the real debate, the one between the pundits, starting with the conservatives. They thought J.D. Vance did a great job, so they were very happy to spike the ball.
It was quite obvious that J.D. Vance won the debate tonight. I'm incredibly proud of J.D.
Had a fantastic performance.
The future of the Republican Party is J.D. Vance.
Kind of wiped the floor with Tim Walz.
I don't think he could have done better under the circumstances.
10 out of 10 for J.D. Vance.
It was a masterclass.
He looked humble. He looked earnest, sharp, 20 years younger than Walz. He looked beautiful tonight.
Yeah. As a longtime political expert, my analysis on J.D. Vance, you're beautiful. You're beautiful, it's true. but yeah, it seemed like J.D. Vance made his party proud last night, and I'm sure nobody was more proud than the big guy himself, Donald Trump.
Kristen, interesting little side note. At 10:02 p.m. Eastern time, Donald Trump, this is in the middle of the debate, tweeted about the death of baseball great Pete Rose.
The great Pete Rose just died. He was one of the most magnificent baseball players ever to play the game. He paid the price. Major League Baseball should have allowed him into the Hall of Fame many years ago. Do it now before his funeral.
Do it before the funeral? You don't have to bring the body to the Hall of Fame to swear him in. Look, I want to rag on Trump, but this is why he's so relatable. Even when it's his vice president, he can't watch the VP debate without looking at his phone like, let me see what's on ESPN, you know? Now, that tweet may seem unrelated to the debate, but Pete Rose was a beloved figure who played for Cincinnati, which is in Ohio, which is next to several swing states. So the calculus here is actually, I'm just kidding, he was bored as shit. All right, so, and seeing this tweet, it must have been rough for J.D. Vance. Think about it. It's like hitting a home run at your Little League game and looking to the stands to see your dad's proud, smiling face and realizing he's at home tweeting about the death of Pete Rose. So that was the conservative reaction. On the liberal side, they kind of knew Tim Walz didn't crush it, so they were focused on subtly undermining J.D. Vance's performance. See if you can pick it up.
One of these candidates is much slicker than the other.
J.D. Vance was very slick.
He is much more polished. He's slick.
I've never seen someone so slick and smooth and not directly answering questions.
He talked a good game. You know, he was slick with it.
He was good. I mean, he was too slick, maybe. The slick debater.
He looked shifty. He looked slick.
Yes, he was slick.
Slick.
Thank God we have all these sharp political pundits to give us a broad array of opinions. They called him slick so much that I couldn't tell if Tim Walz was debating J.D. Vance or Moo Dang. Now that's a wet hippo. I don't think that sentence has ever been said on late night television before. Now, if you're wondering what they meant by slick, slick is liberal speak for he was good and we're mad about it. It's such a backhanded compliment. If you look up slick in the dictionary, it says smart, but in a bad Italian-American kind of way. Well, like, it doesn't really matter who the pundits think won the debate. The only thing that matters is whether the debate will have any effect on the election. And on that point, voters are answering with a resounding nope.
In a new CBS News poll, 42% said Vance won versus 41% for Walz. The rest said it was a tie.
Look at the CNN polling. It's very evenly split for Vance, 51%, and Walz, 49%.
Great. The entire debate was pointless and irrelevant. So, in a way, it really did prepare them to be vice president. For more... For more on the debate and its fallout, we go live to the spin room with Troy Iwata. Troy, can you give us a substantive analysis of the debate and what it revealed about the candidates' actual policies?
No. Nobody goes to the spin room to talk policy, Michael. That's like going to Coachella to hear music. We go for the drugs. Okay. Policy is so boring. It's much more fun to talk about who won and who's the big, dumb, sucky loser who sucks.
Okay. But how can you tell who won the debate then? It's so subjective. It's not like there's a point system, you know?
Yeah, there is. My point system. Okay, I give candidates points based on their statements and presentation. It's an objective, dignified series of metrics that I call Troy's Suckometer.
I don't know if that's a good name, Troy.
Okay, well, you can call your point system something dumb, like, I don't know, Michael's Suckometer.
Fine. Okay, so how did the Troy Suckometer rate the candidates?
Okay, well, let's start with general presentation. Okay. Tim Walz had such an honest, sincere look on his face that said, America really needs this. And I found that desperate, so I docked him 2 points for being needy. And then, on the other hand, J.D. Vance had those, like, dreamy blue eyes, so that's plus 5 points, but they're almost, like, too blue, right? It's like if Chucky came to life and had a lot of opinions about a uterus, you know? So that's minus 3.
Okay. All right, but what about their positions?
Okay, I'm getting there. So, at one point, Tim Walz was giving his position on climate change. And while he was droning on about that, I noticed something important. His American flag pin, it had some dimension. It wasn't just a 2D flag. It had a wave to it, a point of view. And I like that. So, 10 points.
10 points.
And then I also, I thought J.D. Vance had a very compelling answer about how much Trump saved Obamacare. So plus 10 for that as well.
But no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Trump tried to kill Obamacare. J.D. Vance was lying.
Okay, fine. Plus 9 points, whatever. Okay. Nora and Margaret looked great up there. Classy and demure. They get 3 points for that. But I'll store them with Walz since they don't have their own score.
I mean, this is so... No, this is so incredibly unscientific. Are you done with this?
I have one more. Walz had a really bad moment where he forgot what month he was in China 30 years ago. So that's minus 2 points. And then on the other hand, J.D. Vance supports the overthrow of the U.S. government, so that's also minus 2 points.
No. Those two can't be equal.
Okay. I'm sure the Michael Suckometer will reflect that, okay? But based on my objective analysis, the debate was a tie.
You did this whole report, and you didn't even talk about their stances on childcare, the war in the Middle East, LGBT issues, anything.
Wow, okay. Sounds like you actually watched the debate and carefully analyzed it and everything. So that's minus 10 billion points for you. I guess you lost the VP debate, Michael.
Whoa. I wasn't even in that. Troy Iwata, everybody.